Today we are talking about why YouTube is such a hard platform to have success on. And no, I'm not going to talk about oversaturation. I'm going to talk about the real reasons why over 70% of people have probably started a YouTube channel before, but why so few have stuck to it and why even less were able to see success on this platform. Let's get right into it. So some backstory. Myself, like many people, started my first YouTube channel back in 2011. I was 11 years old, 12. I really like technology, so I was like, let me do some reviews of some cameras, some iPhone cases. I couldn't even afford an iPhone case back then because I was like 11, 12. I remember like emailing companies like, hey, can you send me a case to do a review on? I'd like to post it on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel had like no subscribers and no views. That was my first little dabble into YouTube. Of course, I quit after like 2-3 videos because what 11, 12-year-old really has a discipline to stick to YouTube. But now revisiting that experience, I was able to extrapolate a lot of things and I was able to come up with a few theories why YouTube is so hard to have success on and why so many people have not been able to withstand the pressures it takes to become a successful YouTuber. This is my second go around on YouTube, and in this video I'm going to tell you 3 reasons why it's so hard to see success on this platform that I've experienced myself. The first reason is it is very hard to see results on YouTube quickly. Most people do not see results on YouTube until after 9, 10, 11 months. Sometimes it can even take years. And who the hell wants to put in all this work to get no reward in the end of it? It is so difficult. Imagine this with me, telling yourself, hey look, I'm gonna post every single day for the next 2 months. And you follow through, you post, you dedicate 2-3 hours a day on top of how busy you already are to posting on YouTube. The first month passes, you got like 10 views on a video that you spend hours on. No, it is literally crazy. Then at the end of the 2 months, you have like a total of 1,000 views and you're like, what the hell? This is impossible. It is so, I'm not seeing any results. I'm bored, I'm tired of it. Now, this is called variable rewards, right? Variable rewards means a type of novelty that comes along when you're working on something. A little reward that pops up that tells you, that triggers your brain into, okay, this is something that we can continue going on. I'll give you an example with gambling. Most people who gamble, I've never gambled, but the reason why it's so addictive is because there's that variable reward. They play, right, whatever, however, they gamble, and then every once in a while they get that win. And then they're like, wow, this is awesome, I have to keep going, right? That's how people get addicted to gambling. And because of that little novelty of getting a reward that just pops up out of nowhere. Now with YouTube, there is no novelty, there is no reward. It is just you posting and no one watching your videos. It can drive you insane. And it is a very big reason why many people quit. They just simply don't see any payment for this service, this effort, this time commitment that they're putting in. Imagine going to work 40 hours a week and then at the end of the month or at the end of 2 weeks you get no paycheck. You just get nothing. They're like, thank you, see you back next week, get back to work, and you get no payment of any sort. It is extremely difficult. So that is the number 1 reason. Many people cannot wait until they get past that. Many people fall short right there. Number 2 is, and this ties into the first point, is boredom. I read this book recently called Atomic Habits, one of my favorite books ever. It has so many practical real life tips, real life methods that you can use to really improve your life and improve your habits. And in Atomic Habits, it discusses that the biggest threat to your success is not failure. It is actually boredom. It is just getting bored. It's getting bored of doing that same thing every single day, being a professional, showing up every single day. Because most people, there's gonna come these days where you don't feel like it. You just don't feel like, you don't feel like going to the gym. You don't feel like putting the effort into a project. You don't feel like working on that side hustle. For YouTube, there's gonna be many days where you don't have any inspiration to post a YouTube video, like today. I woke up sick today and I was like, damn, I really don't feel like posting this video. I've been posting over the last month. I've gotten no type of results. I don't really have that many views. Still stuck at the same amount of subscribers. I'm just bored. I was like, damn, I don't want to do this anymore. But guess what? To get past boredom, you just have to show up. You have to show up every single day. If you tell yourself you want to be a YouTuber, you need to post every single day for a year, 2, 3, however long it takes until you see that success. Doesn't matter if you're bored, doesn't matter if you're tired, doesn't matter if you're exhausted, it doesn't matter if you're sick, you need to show up. You need to be a professional. I'll give you an example. Treat YouTube as if it were your job. How many times a week or a month do you wake up and say, I don't feel like going to work today? I just don't feel like it. I don't want to be stuck in that desk. I don't want to do that boring work. I don't want to see those people. I don't want to talk with my manager. I don't want to be there. But when you realize that you have no more personal days left, guess what? You show up and you work because your paycheck depends on it. Paying your bills depends on it, and you still show up and you're a professional. You don't only show up to work when you feel like it, because if you did, you would never last at a job. You need to treat YouTube as a job. Doesn't matter if you're bored, it doesn't matter how you feel, you need to show up and put in the work when you tell yourself you're going to show up and put in the work. You need to stay true to your word, the word that you gave yourself, that you're going to stick through this no matter what happens until you see success and until you see results. And if you're able to get through the boredom stage, you become a professional at this craft and you put in the hours, not only is your skill level going to rise far past any of your competitors, but you're also going to outlast your competitors. Success on YouTube comes down to 2 things. It comes down to outlasting everyone else that started at the same time as you and developing the skill. Whatever way you record your videos, if it's just talking to the camera, for example, like myself, developing that skill of speaking to the camera with conviction, with certainty, and motivating whoever is watching you. If you are able to do these 2 things, everyone who starts YouTube at the same time as you is going to fall off way before you, far earlier than you. You're going to outlast that group. Then there's the group who only show up when they want to, who get bored. That group is not going to be as skilled as you are, because this is a skill that you have to develop. There's something called the 10,000 hour rule, where if you reach 10,000 hours at a skill, perfecting a craft, you are going to become one of the best in the world at it. 10,000 hours sounds like an insane time. You don't have to reach 10,000 because that's to be one of the best in the world or one of the best ever. If you reach 2, 3, 4,000, you've already far surpassed everyone else. So just outlast everyone and outwork everyone. And number 3, last but not least, is the concept of motion versus action. This is another concept that I read about in Atomic Habits, which by the way is an amazing book. I definitely recommend it to everyone. But motion is that person who tells himself, tomorrow I'll start, I'll start next month, oh, I'm not ready to start a YouTube channel yet. That person who sits there and watches YouTube videos on how to become a YouTuber, who just consumes and consumes and consumes that content. That person who goes on Canva and makes their channel banner, who puts hours into making the perfect YouTube profile picture. That person who is snailing towards or delaying starting YouTube as long as possible. They are in motion. They tell themselves, hey, I'm putting in work. I watched YouTube videos on how to play with the algorithm, how to understand the algorithm better. I watched YouTube videos on how to get a higher click-through rate and how to keep viewers more engaged. No, fuck all that. If you want to achieve success on YouTube, you need to show up with action. And action means picking up that camera and recording, and stop delaying starting. You can extrapolate this out to anything. It goes into starting a business, starting a side hustle, whatever it may be. People just delay and delay and delay, and they tell themselves they are getting closer to their goal because they are in motion, but they never get to the action part, which is to start. Action is starting, and that is what you need to do to see success. Stop watching videos on algorithm. Stop having an information overload about how to do YouTube, how to copy different people's styles, how to find a style that works for you. Forget all of that. Putting all these 3 concepts together is starting out, stop being in motion and get into action. Number 2 is when you're bored, you still need to show up and you still need to be a professional. And number 3, even when there's no variable reward, even if there's no novelty occurring as you're doing YouTube, even if you get no views, you need to still show up and hustle and outgrind everyone else. And guess what? At the end of the day, at the end of it all, you're gonna outlast half of your competition, and you're gonna outskill the other half of your competition, and you're gonna reach success.